March the 13th, 2025. Guys, we got a big storm coming through. We don't talk about the weather as much as we do during hurricane season. And the tornadoes have eased up somewhat in the last few months. Not everywhere. We still get some warnings here or there, and we're still cleaning up damage from a few months ago. But this one is going to be a little larger, and I think what we're seeing with these weather anomalies is the same thing we saw back in the summer when the reporters from Europe were telling us that the International Convergence Zone at that time had moved up 152 miles north. Never has that been reported before or seen in the history of the Earth, or reported history of the Earth, and it was creating greenery further up into the desert. It was also flooding Saudi Arabia and many nations through there, even across the Mediterranean into some of those sections of Europe. Heavy flooding. They've never seen it before. And that's what we're dealing with now. So when they talk about these large storms building, we have to pay a little bit extra attention to it because they can become very dangerous. It says millions brace as storms are forecast to wallop areas of the U.S. Millions of residents are preparing as severe winter storms are forecast to hit the U.S. throughout the weekend. We were supposed to start seeing some of this weather coming in, not as winter weather, but as thunderstorms, tornadoes. Today, I think that's been kind of moved a little further north, and it may come in to central Mississippi tomorrow. But again, just double check everything before you retire tonight. Make sure everything's buckled down, your pets are in good shape, and all of that. It says the central and eastern portions of the U.S. may experience dangerous, severe weather beginning Friday. This is according to Fox Weather. The outlet said yesterday that possible thunderstorms could result in hurricane-force wind gusts and tornadoes. NOAA Storm Prediction Center, the SPC, has placed about 5 million people in the southeast in a level 1 out of 5 risk on its severe thunderstorm risk scale today. Like I said, a lot of it has moved a little further north. Storms that develop today will be capable of producing some hail and locally damaging wind gusts from portions of eastern Mississippi into Alabama, western Georgia, and parts of the Florida panhandle. Now, I have noticed on the weather throughout the day, we were seeing these thunderstorm warnings pop up across like Tennessee, Alabama, maybe over into Georgia. It says forecasters are saying the storm systems could last into Friday night as it intensifies across the central portion of the U.S. In fact, forecasters say the highest risk for tornadoes stretches more than 750 miles from Iowa to here in Mississippi, while the overall tornado threat spans over 1,000 miles. Now, meanwhile, the AccuWeather meteorologists have elevated their severe weather threat for tomorrow and Saturday. The multiple-day severe weather event will last from Friday to Sunday, shifting eastward each day from the Great Plains to the Mississippi, Ohio, and Tennessee valleys, the southern and central Appalachians, and the Gulf and Atlantic coast. The northern extent of the severe weather will be unusual for so early in the season, especially considering that part of the zone has experienced snow and sub-freezing air in recent days and may quickly return to those conditions in the wake of the storm system. The severe weather risk will reach portions of the Dakotas, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Iowa, Illinois, and Michigan. AccuWeather also warned of powerful wind gusts from thunderstorms potentially downing trees, power lines, and damaging property. Video footage, and I'm going to show you that, shows heavy snow conditions already up in South Dakota. On Thursday, the Weather Channel said that's today a winter storm moving through the western portion of the U.S. could hit residents with wind gusts, heavy snow in the mountainous areas, and possible flooding rainfall in Southern California. You can see in this image, guys, this is Orange County. You got the fires that happened, the vegetation's burned off, this flooding and mudslides and debris flows is shutting down the highways. This is also, it's prompting evacuations in Orange County. I'm going to link to this article, and you can come here. There's a couple of videos and check them out for yourself. But that's what you're seeing. This has impacted the west coast. It's going to move for 1,000 miles width, or north to south, from west to east across our nation. It says flooding, mudslides, and debris flows are possible from LA to San Diego. Burn scars from the Palisades and Eaton fires will be especially vulnerable. Feet of snow possible in the Sierra Nevada, Cascades, and Rockies. A second storm arrives in Washington, Oregon, Northern California, and Idaho this weekend. So back to back. A lot of moisture coming in now. You know, in the springtime, we're kind of starting to see that. The more rain you have now, the better it is, because, like they say, what's the old saying? April showers bring May flowers. I know we're not in April yet, but the months have been off for the last few years too, haven't they, guys? Now, this is what we have right now. It is 6:53 p.m. The last frame is the most current available, guys, just a few minutes old. This thing refreshes every 5 minutes, so that tells you. Here's our systems today. Again, they were expecting some of this to be a little further south today. It moved up in here, and there were some pretty good storms popping up. But this is what they're expecting, guys, and it's already building. Notice it's from northern Oklahoma all the way to the Gulf of America, the coast there. And you can see what's building. Now, this is going to be pulling into Mars. Second storm not far behind it. Let me switch this over to infrared just to give you an idea. But before we do that, just notice the wind system is really picking up. That's going to bring these high winds and tornadoes. That's going to elevate the problems we have with them. But notice how it's clearing out the west coast here. Check this out. Coming out of not only the west, but also the north, dipping down. Much cooler there. But this system here is bringing moisture out of the Atlantic. Once it gets over into Louisiana, you're going to start to see a pull. You're already seeing it right there with just the Gulf moisture along the coast being pulled northward into it. Now let's go to the infrared. And you can see what we have. Nothing is really intense at this moment. You get in, once you come out of these yellows and greens, though, into the orange and reds, and upward from there, it gets more intense. But what you're seeing, though, is cooler air. You can see it clear here. It's been a beautiful day, central Mississippi. It is 6:54 p.m. central. It is 78 degrees outside. Feels like 83. Sun is setting. Just absolutely beautiful day. A little bit warm. I'll never complain about a day in the 80s. I've seen the 120s here too many times in the heat indexes lately. But this is what we have. Notice that the front that's coming in off the coast is moving north up into the Canadian Rockies through this area, and then it's starting to turn. Now, how this will affect the northeast, we'll have to see. It may be combined not only with this storm, but a lot of this could be built up. And, of course, you're going to get snow over the mountains. That's why they're talking about 2 to 3 feet, not inches, feet. So you got the moisture flowing now, second wave coming in behind it. Now, let me back this out wide for just a moment, and then I'm going to go to that video. But this is the second storm, guys. Check it out. It looks much stronger than what you're seeing now, and you're already seeing, again, from the Eaton Palisade fires, these washouts across the road, the debris flows and mud flows, road closures. And this really, it's got a lot of moisture in it, but it doesn't really compare to what you're seeing coming in from behind here. Old man winter looks like it's not going to go out very easy. It's kind of like Pelosi and Schumer. You're going to have to roll them out. I don't think they'll ever leave on their feet. This is a quick look at the national map. These hot pink areas are red flag warnings. That means high wind and dry conditions. That's what we're talking about, the wind coming through here. When you get into these orange and browns like this, these are high wind warnings or watches. Anytime you're into the tans or the beiges here, the flesh color, whatever it is, those are wind warnings. Now, when you get back up into this aqua colors, you're into winter storm watches, winter storm warnings. Also, along the Rockies and the Four Corner areas, also, you got winter storm warnings, you got winter storm watches all through this area. Everything has one thing in common, a lot of wind. See, even around these winter storms, So you guys in the Colorado area and Utah, you're going to have the storms with the wind. But again, it's creating red flag conditions. And we just went through seeing Long Island on fire, other sections of New York, many places across the nation burning. So this is going to be out in front of, the high winds are going to come. Let me say it like that. High winds are going to be here, it looks like, before the storms are. And that's a bad thing, because if you get rain before the winds, you've dampened the undergrowth, the trees, everything that would burn. But it looks like we're going to have a wind first event. And before I go to the video, and before I forget it again, guys, got the email yesterday. The Alexa Pure Water System, I don't have to go into detail. You know it's the #1 on the planet, is now on sale again. Click here and you'll see it's $179. Let's go there just a moment. I'm not trying to sell. I'm not trying to push an ad on you guys. We don't do a lot of that. But right now, this is something everybody on the planet needs. Now click there and you can see, guys, you've got $100 off. You can't beat it. This thing's got one filter that comes with it. You can actually stack 4 in there. We stack 3 filters in ours, along with the invention that we have called the AquaFlow Max, that puts about 10 times faster output on the entire system. As far as when you turn the valve on to get it, it starts replacing and recycling the air in the top tank. Don't want to go into detail, but they're also there at the website. $179.95, guys. 4 payments of $44.99 a month on your credit card. You don't have to apply for credit with them or anything. You pay the 1 payment, then you got the other 3 to pay on this thing. It's $100 off. You can, again, it comes with 1 filter that will handle at least 5,000 gallons. People say, well, it says 200 gallons, but that's how many gallons they pass through it on a test. We've got more than 5,000 gallons on 6 filters. We keep 3 in each of the 2 that we've had. We bought 1 a few years later, bought another. And even all of our Huskies drink from these. They don't get tap water. We don't drink water out of any of the taps. Nothing for ice, nothing for cooking, anything like that. It comes through this system first. So do yourself a favor. You can stack this thing up, guys, and look over on the side here. You can see you can bug out with it. Check this picture out right there. It's 2 tanks stack up. You can fill it with river water, stream water, whatever. It gets 99.9% of every contaminant you can name out. Again, it's a $100 discount. Take advantage of it. I know you can put $44 down for something that could save your entire family's life in your home. But if you had to travel, it works there great too. Let's go to the video. Now, this is a pretty good video. It's Fox Weather, and it's going to give you an idea of what's coming with some live video from up north, things like that. But guys, brace, prepare. Because, again, old man winter is going to be fighting summer with everything he's got, and the earth is kind of going through some rapid changes. Let's just say that. So, again, I mentioned it in the beginning of the video. The weather is going to be a little more extreme in every aspect, from winter to summer to spring to fall, so we have to pay attention to it. We're watching it, guys. Let's watch this video together. It's a heads up. Be safe.
We are monitoring the combinations of some strong winds. 60, 70, 75 miles per hour could lead to near whiteout conditions, blizzard-like impacts across portions of the northern plains, portions of the Midwest. And we've seen this before. We've done this with the last big outbreak that we had on the northern side. We had all of those strong winds. And take a look at what's going on. Now, we don't have a lot in the way of cold air in place, so the snowfall totals won't be as impressive, but we will still see some strong winds. Temperatures dropping to the 30s and 40s right behind. This is come Friday as the system continues to lift on out of here. Then we watch those strong winds blowing the snow around that is on the ground, and that will be a problem there. Now, sunshine's going to melt some of the snow that does fall, Britta, so that is some good news. But behind that, look at how cold.
The bigger deal is the cold and the wind.
Exactly. Look at
the wind field of this storm. We talk about wind field in regards to hurricanes. Same thing with an area of low pressure that's moving its way across the country. It has a wind field. And because the pressure is so low, in response to that pressure change, the winds are going to be nuts, especially on the backside. Strong enough not only to take out power, but the visibility concerns. You don't need any snow to create a ground blizzard. You just need snow on the ground, nothing falling from the sky. Here we could have a combination of both, but a bigger component with the blowing snow creating a visibility concern.
And already worried about travel conditions throughout this area, not just into Friday, but Saturday and Sunday. And that is going to have an impact for many people all the way from North Dakota, clear down into portions of Nebraska and Iowa. Winter weather impacts, as you can see, for the next 3 days. It's going to be moderate risk for the blowing snow. Look at the interstates included in this. And remember, this is going to be for a good time a crosswind for places like Interstate 90. I-29 will be a headwind for you unless you're headed down south. And here's a look at the snow, Britta. It's not a lot, but it's enough with the wind to cause issues for us.
It's not going to be our deficit for the upper Midwest or the northern plains. It will be very cold on the backside, temperatures dropping to the teens by Saturday night.